when I heard about the project giving back and this opportunity for funding to do a Chelsea garden, and that it needed to be with a charity, I sort of thought, well, what is the most important cause? The sort of first two things that popped into my head were the environment and mental health. I thought was fantastic about the Wilderness Foundation was that they cover both bases. So they are educating and getting people connected with nature, and then they are sort of fostering the next generation of stewards for the natural world. I suppose the garden relates to what the Wilderness Foundation do in that it's going to be such an immersive sort of enclosed space when you step into it that it's almost removing you from your surroundings. Sometimes we live in environments or worlds, sort of screens, digital, that are so sort of all-encompassing that you do need, in a way, need to remove yourself and disconnect from that.
So we're a charity that was established in the UK in about 1976, but originally started in South Africa in 1956. And it started up very much around that magic of wilderness. We've lost a connection with who we are. We've lost a connection with the earth. And that then leads to a sense of alienation, disconnection, mental health, etc. And so as a charity, we've much more focused on the mental health, although the mental health had always been an outcome anyway. But we run a range of projects. Some are going to be deeply environmental, but the bulk are working very much around the impact of nature on our well-being.
We're using the environment to help them to talk and to relax. It can be a really free space for them to be able to explore their problems, but also find who they are as well.
We were part of the Blossom Project. The whole circle, the whole of the Blossom Project here, it just made all of us feel safe to start off with. And then we realised that we weren't in it on our own.
I mean, it took Joe and the Wilderness Foundation a long time for me to appreciate the nature, considering how angry I was at kind of everything else, and nature wasn't any different to any of that. I was very angry at everything.
I think what I noticed is some clients come and they can be quite tentative and curious about where they are, and by the time we finish, really much more in touch with themselves and feeling much more confident about themselves and maybe the problems that they're facing as well.
Being in the outside, having therapy, rather than being indoors, enclosed in a room, it actually, instead of just spurting everything out, it sort of helps to relax, and it mainly made us feel safe and loved, part of something.
But I think what I love about the Wilderness Foundation is it acknowledges that side of things, but it also encourages that care for the environment as well, and building on that compassion that we can have for it and the care that we can show for it as well.
One of the big things was to really respect nature and make sure no matter what mindset you're in, you treat what's around you good, and hopefully that good karma will come back in your favour. It has, yeah, turned us around and really helped.
Chelsea's quite this hectic environment.
Yeah.
There's people everywhere. It's a bit sort of over the top. And sort of what I sort of thought is actually, what if in the middle of that there was this sort of little green oasis? Yeah. So the whole thing is sort of almost overplanted. There's sort of dense canopy, lots of vegetation, a very sort of narrow entrance that you almost will need to push your way into it, and then it just opens up into this sort of, there's just this little space in the middle.
I actually, now that you've explained it, I do like where you've said about how they've got to sort of go through that sort of confined space, that sort of maybe uncomfortable to some people. That would work really well. That's great.
Yeah, well, that's what we have to do. We have to go through the uncomfortable to be comfortable.
To sort of like open out and actually expand and to have comfortable moment. Yeah.